Welcome to the Gransberry Chronicles Weekly Pick'em 2020 show. My name's Natasha, but I go by the Gransberry, the one and only travel girl that'll take you everywhere around the world and make your sports dreams come true. But today, we're going to pick every single game from top to bottom, from Thursday night to Sunday night to Monday night. And I have my great first co-host with me today. His name is D.Jones. He rides out of H-Town. Nothing but love for all the H-Town teams and some other teams, but we'll get to that later. We have another co-host that'll be joining us next week. We want to go ahead and give a shout out to Brandon Patterson because we know he'll be ready for week 2. But for now, we need to get started with week 1 because everybody is ready for the NFL return. We don't know what to do because we finally made it. We've been worried all summer if it would happen, and it is. It will. Tomorrow, it's on. The Texans. Oh! I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I should be so much better than that. But D, You know I'm ready. My boyfriend's back. Oh, man.
Stay ready.
We stay ready. Now, we're going to go ahead and start with all the other games. We're going to say the game of the week for last. And you already know what's the game of the week. So, D, we're going to start it out with Seattle versus Atlanta. What you got?
All right. So, Seattle, it's tough for me to go against Russ. But in this week, I'm going to go Atlanta. Even though Seattle's favored by 2 points on the road, I'm going to ride with Atlanta just because Matt Ryan, those guys been in that system so long, and then Seattle going from West Coast, East Coast. I'm one that believe that matters. The long trips matter. So I'm going with Atlanta with the upset.
With the upset, okay. I guess it could be an upset, but I'm definitely riding. I'm definitely riding with Russ. You know, he just had baby win, and he gonna start it off with a win. So, or another win. So yeah, I'm going with Seattle for consistency reasons. You know, they got some good consistent pieces on offense returning. I mean, they made the block trade of the summer for defense. So I know it's the travel. That's always what we talk about when we talk about Seattle. But I think the biggest difference this time, there's no fan element. Yeah. And usually that can pull down Seattle a little bit. They definitely are a better team at home, but they don't have that element. And even with all the fake noise in the world, you mentally will know that it's fake. So I'm sticking with Seattle.
Yeah, I roll with that.
Okay. Well, you know, we're going to take it on over to the Battle of New York.
Call it a battle.
Well, if you call it a battle, but we got the Jets versus Buffalo. Now, we know a little bit about playing both teams, being an AFC team fan, and I'm still going with Buffalo. I know they made some trades that will make them look good on offense, and they gave us some things on defense, but they still had a solid defense, even with, you know, Adams leaving. So I'm going Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They gave up some pieces on defense, but they were stacked on defense. So they didn't give up their defense. You dig what I'm saying? They gave up a couple of players. I'm going to ride with Buffalo, too. They're a 6.5 point favorite at home. I just don't trust the Jets. So until Sam Darnold...
Jet, out of here.
Yeah, they can go. Until Sam Darnold do something more that I trust him on games like this, on road games like this in a division, I'm riding with Buffalo.
I got you. I mean, you know, he always has those moments, right? Like he give us these games where he's just racking up the passing yards. He's looking quick on the feet. And then we like, Sam, what was that?
Yeah.
So speaking of, what is that? What about Chicago versus Detroit? What is that in Chicago? Is that the quarterback they picked over our quarterback? We thank you. We thank you. I'm going to thank you every time I get a chance to. Chicago.
Houston and Kansas City love him. So keep on picking him to start for your team, I'm gonna go with Detroit, home favorite by 3. This comes down really to which quarterback I trust. I think the rest of the teams are pretty even. Detroit boasts a good defense from Matt Patricia. Chicago defense is always pretty solid, even though Khalil Mack was limited in practice today. So we'll see if he's going to be 100% this weekend. I'm going to go with Matt Stafford over Mr. Trubisky. That's basically how I'm looking at this game.
Right. I think this is an excellent way to start the season, with a division rival. So they're comfortable with each other. That's a good start to see. And so for that reason, more so, I'm definitely riding with Detroit. I think Stafford is ready to continue. He always comes out the gun running. So It's not like we think he's not going to be able to make the plays. It's just sometimes he might make them too late. Yeah. But I definitely trust him way more than Trubisky. I just think Chicago likes picking flakes at QB lately. I don't know what it is. It's just like, let's just give the guy who probably could be a model who throws the ball a contract. Anyway, we go head on over to Green Bay versus Minnesota. Now, guys, D.Jones has this thing for Green Bay. And I'll let him share why he has this thing for Green Bay. And I don't know if you had a chance to see the picture, but you should check it out on my page when you get a chance at TheGransberry. You will see that Derek and I travel often together, at least every season. Not this season, of course. But in hindsight, we were hoping to. We were hoping to. But anyway, we made a glorious trip to Green Bay. We got all the effects of it, snow and all. Right. And this gentleman decided that he would wear gear from both teams because it was a Texans versus Green Bay matchup. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to let him have it just this one time. So while we on that, I'm going with Green Bay. I think this comes down for me to another quarterback. Who do I trust? I'm going to always trust Aaron Rodgers. I will. I don't care who's his coach. I don't know who's going to really throw the ball to, but hey, I know they drafted some help on offense, but it's never like your top dog to where you're like, man, are you waiting to see what Aaron does with his wide receiver? Never. We're just waiting to see what Aaron going to do. So what you say?
So to address the first thing. So, and I'm going to make a long story real short. When the Oilers, I'm Houston born, Houston bred, Houston made. So when the Oilers left Houston, that hurt me, even as a young pup. So I refuse to root for that team up 45 North. Just refuse. It's not in my blood. I wasn't raised that way. So it seemed like every time I was watching football in big games, it seemed like that team up north with the Star was playing Green Bay. It's also around the same time Brett Favre came in the league. So I was kind of a team free agent. I was free agent. My fandom was open. So I did the searching, and the history of the team kind of intrigued me. And then Brett Favre, I fell in love with him. So at that point, I started following Green Bay as well. But when we was awarded a team back in Houston, again, I'm a Houston boy. So Houston always takes precedence. So that's how I rock with two teams. So, and on that trip, even though I wore both teams' gear, I found both teams' gear in black. So I wasn't necessarily wearing their colors. So I was wearing, I think on one it had a green G, but I couldn't find black. But I digress.
Sir, so, is that really what we're doing here? We're trying to justify?
No, it's not a justification.
Oh, okay, because I just want to know. I just want to know.
Oh, no, I can care less what people think. That was my thing. Because I always wanted to go to Lambeau. I didn't want to go when they played the Texans. But it just so happens that was the best time for me to go. So I just killed two birds with one stone. But I didn't want to leave one team out. So, but Green Bay did win the game though. So on this week's game, Minnesota is home favorite by 2.5. We know that's just a coin flip, 2.5. They give you 3 just from being at home. I'm going with Green Bay. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers just because the management let him down, if you ask me, by not drafting a receiver in the first round, and they lit a fire by drafting a quarterback. So I think you're going to see.
I said they got some help on offense. I didn't say what kind of help.
Yeah, but the help is going to come as in motivating Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers. And I look for him to have a great year this year. And I think he's going to start by getting ahead of the division by beating Minnesota. I like Minnesota. I don't hate Kirk Cousins, but he's up and down. I'm just going to ride with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, also, too, if you talk about running backs, I mean, I think both sides pretty much have some decent running backs, but we don't know for sure because of injury. We have more of a record of injury in Minnesota than we do in Green Bay. So for that,
he's still
right.
a beast. And then I think Thielen and Devontae Adams kind of, they even each other out as far as receiver. We don't know what that number 2 guy looks like. If Stephon Diggs was still there, then they would definitely have the case for that. But we don't know who's going to be number 2 for the Pack. So we'll see what happens. But as long as that dude throwing it, he's going to put it where they need to catch it. So all they got to do is put their hands on it.
Well, yeah, I agree. But before we move on to the next game, because it's definitely a game that you can take a restroom break, a snack break, anything you may want to do to catch back up. I want to make sure I share some of my favorite things with you. And Pop Carlisle popcorn is one of those. Guys, you'll always see this on my page. It's the truth. D.Jones can tell you we're not just pushing a product for the sake of it, but you use my code, TheGransberry, and you get 25% off your order. Trust me, you want to try it. From Sweetheart, which is my favorite, to Caramel, which is everybody's usual favorite, to something salty, to something spicy, he has something for you. Definitely want to check out Pop Carlisle when you get a chance, because this next game, Miami versus New England, yes, definitely take your restroom breaks, not because we're not looking forward to seeing Cam, mainly because, anyway, we're not looking forward to this matchup. I mean, everybody, yes, we want to look forward to seeing Cam get back started, but I don't think anybody in their right mind is thinking Miami's going to win this game. We normally, know that Miami loses in New England anyway. That's usually the standard. So for that alone, you would pick New England. Belichick is still in New England. For that alone, you would pick New England. And being a Texans fan, we also know that every time Belichick has changed quarterback, he still finds a way to win. So now he even has the best talent change other than Brady. So I definitely don't see him losing this season opener. I think it'll be great for everybody. It'll be great for the fans. It'll be great for Cam to go in there and get a start with a W, get everybody turning the lights back on toward him. But for excitement and thrill and a lack of fans, this is definitely the time to get a snack and catch the second half.
Well, I don't fully agree with you on the snack.
Okay.
And it's only because this is the division game. Miami is playing for this coach. This coach has New England ties, and they played hard for him last year.
Okay.
Fitz Magic is going to be in the building.
We know about that too.
But what I'll say is Miami.
You telling me Fitz Magic over Cam?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Oh, you just saying why not to go get snacks?
Yeah.
Well, the magic show, you probably really should, because he puts on a good magic show.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's great. And
then by midway first quarter, you'll know which Fitzpatrick showed up, if it's Fitz Magic or not.
Okay.
So you'll know. But if this game was in Miami, I would feel closer to Miami than I would New England.
Okay, of course.
Being that it's in New England, they don't lose in New England. They rarely lose at home. I don't care who's playing quarterback. Now you're giving that offensive coordinator Cam, who can run the ball and throw it in within their system. I don't think their system is going to ask Cam to throw the ball down the field, which is going to be great for him because that's not one of his fortes. So dinking and dunking and catching the tight end across the middle and catching the backside of the backfield is right up his alley, as well as his running game. Yeah, his running game. So I'm definitely going to go with New England, 6.5-point home favorites. Again, it's going to be a division game. You know how I feel about division games. They always
anybody can win.
Yeah, they know each other very well, so they normally play pretty competitive. I think Miami will show up and be ready, but New England will be too much.
Okay. Well, New England's missing some pieces that have elected out for COVID. And even with that, I still pick, right. I still pick New England. So that says a lot. That's why I guess I'm kind of like, get that snack. Now,
this next game is a snack game. Go ahead.
Woo, the next game. Okay, so maybe I was a little premature. I'm going to bring that code back. You might want to go and hit that up now because Philly versus the football team. I mean, I can't believe we even saying that. All that money and you steal the football team. But hey, whatever. Maybe you want to wait and let your fans pick. I don't know. But I know Pee Wee down the street got a name and it ain't the football team.
Yeah.
Okay. But hey, I'm definitely gonna go with Philly, even if Wentz is wincing a little bit, I'm still gonna pick that, not because I'm against, the quarterback. They just have more consistency right now. There's so much going on. We really don't know what the effects of that is. I mean, definitely they got Young. I'm looking to see if he gonna have some explosive plays or things like that, being a top pick in the draft this year. But other than that, I don't think there's anything for me to think about.
It's not too much to talk about on this game.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Alex Smith, though, for making the roster.
Yeah, definitely shout
out. And, because we were there his last game, we witnessed that injury. So I'm just glad to see that come full circle. But I think that's about all the highlights I got for that for myself. What about you?
Yeah. Shout out to him for sure. I watched the documentary that on the sports channel there that they did on him, and they showed his recovery time. And after his surgery, he had some type of flesh-eating bacteria. He had a freaking hole in his leg. So for him to just be able to get back out, number one, to walk again, number two, to run, and to be able to be in football shape, that's crazy to me. But even with that said, I think Washington has just way too many questions. Who's playing running back? They let Patterson go. The other guy had off the field issues. They let him go. So that's one team I would have had to see in the preseason to even have something good to say about them. So I'm going with Philly on that.
Okay, I'm with that. Now, this next matchup is a team that's finally getting to be where they are now. They done changed their name. They Las Vegas now. I mean, they ready, right? They playing our good old Panthers, who are new quarterback. We're going to see how that's going to work. And I think originally we talked about this, and I was going with Carolina only because I want to see Teddy do well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of flipping with you.
You flipping?
I'm flipping. Okay. I'm not wishy-washy, but I'm straight up flipping. I'm
going to flip. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, I'm a flip, mainly because there's more consistency right now with the Raiders. As far as, like you said, this is another year already under the same coach. They don't have the fans, but I think they'll be okay for now. And, Carr had a really good history of keeping his team in the game. And then a penalty, something would just go wrong. They were heavily penalized a lot. And I think that affected the mentality of the game and sometimes your approach, because they were always like anticipating another penalty and they still seem to find their way. So for that alone, I kind of would hate to see Bridgewater lose, finally getting back a chance to start, since actually not starting because somebody else is injured, but actually being the starter. But I'm going to still have to go ahead and ride with the Raiders.
Yeah. So we talked, like I said before, the Raiders are a 3-point favorite. This again, if it's 3 points or anything less, that's really just a coin flip. I'll go with the consistency of the coach and the staff and even some of those players, running back, players in key positions. Let's put it that way. Carr can be kind of up and down, but I think he'll be more solid. I love Teddy Bridgewater, but he's also playing for a first-time head coach. that was just a college coach, no pro experience. And so again, no knock against him. No, I'm not saying anything negative about that team. I'm just saying
Right.
this is another team that it would have been great to see them in preseason, to see what type of system they're running, to see how they're gelling, to see how the coach is. But with us not knowing, you got that element of surprise as well. So we'll see what happens. But I think this is Vegas all the way. We'll go with the Raiders.
Well, I'm going to apologize again because earlier I said go get your snacks during Miami and New England's matchup, mainly because of Miami. But I really think you could get a snack this next game. But no, you can't. It's like half and half, right? Because we're looking forward to seeing what Rivers is going to do in Indy. I mean, we got to keep an eye on it. We do.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting much. I mean, he's consistently going to have yardage. He's going to throw. He's going to try to keep you in the game. But I mean, do you really change much when you change teams that late in your career? I mean, who you are is kind of who you are by now, right? So, but Jacksonville doesn't have anything. I mean, they rebuilding. So if the Colts don't win this game, I mean, T.Y. still is in Indy. So he got another arm throwing to him. They got a great run game. They got a great line. I'm going to stop talking about teams in my division. So anyway, I'm passing that to you.
I don't have too much to say about this. Jacksonville
okay.
rebuilding. If you're in a pick'em league, if you're in like a survivor league, just keep picking whoever Jacksonville is playing, and you should be okay. So I'm going.
They're the new Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going with the Colts. Nothing else to say. Matter of fact, every week, just anticipate me going with whoever they are playing against. I see a 0-16 for them.
Sounds good. That you think they're trying to get that top QB pick. That's what they're trying to get next year.
They definitely gonna be top 3. So
I agree.
Either they want a QB, they want the guy to Clemson, or if they Minshew mania still hot and heavy, I guess they can go another route, but try to flip it into some picks. But they should already be looking at next year.
So the next one, it won't take much thought. It's Cleveland versus Baltimore. Just Baltimore. Let's just keep it moving. Hey, OB, I see you out there. But anyway,
I'm looking forward to seeing Odell bounce back.
That's what I said. Hey.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see him do better, and then Cleveland under another new coach. But yeah, it's Baltimore. We can keep moving.
And Chargers.
For sure.
Versus Cincinnati. Who you got? You picking the rookie, or you going with stability?
So I'm going same thing. I'm going with the Chargers. I hate to be redundant, but this is another team. Cincinnati is another team I would want to see in the preseason. They throwing this rookie to the fire with no preseason, with half of not much even OTAs and off season. This could be ugly.
This is probably one of those years you really wanted to bench your rookie QB.
Yeah, this is one you definitely would have wanted to have. Which, let's look at the other team. If we look at the Chargers, they just drafted a rookie quarterback as well. And, if you watch the Hard Knocks episodes or the Hard Knocks series, he's been impressive in their training camp. But at the same time, he's not ready to go week 1. And that would be doing him a disservice and throwing him out there. So having a vet like Tyrod Taylor, being able to step in there and command the team and lead that team. You still got Allen, he's throwing to. You still got the running back, and the defense is still beasting. They are 3-point favorite just because they're on the road. I think it's going to be way more than that. I don't think this game is going to be close.
Well, on the road is going to be a little different this year. All it is really a flight because at the end of the day, that fake crowd noise if you're at an outside stadium, I don't really know how much the crowd noise is going to matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. We'll see. I mean, we went to high school games. Hey, we marched in high school games.
So,
shout out to Wheeler Ridge.
All day.
Class of 94.
Most cities stand up.
All day. Anyway, that's the south side for those that's, on the north. But anyway, we won't go there. So Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. Now, you know what? Behind the game of the week, this is the game I want to see.
Yeah.
For several reasons. The obvious reasons, Breeze, dominating with the Saints. He's loaded up on offense. Just good to see. I mean, we always know the Saints always have something from the previous season they're still trying to build forward to. So they just give you that little, like, oh, I hope they get it.
They keep a chip on their shoulder.
All the time.
That they
create sometimes. We took a tough loss to them last year in our Monday night opener, but it was a great game. It was. But furthermore, let's talk about that other side. I was on another show and we were discussing picking your division winner. And I always have an issue with that, picking division winners week 1. And I understand why people want to do it, because when people pick Super Bowl odds, and especially now when we didn't have any preseason, I'm very uncomfortable with all of the changes in the league that are major changes, picking a division lead before you've seen a game. But I did it, and I'm picking the same way for that in this game. I picked the Saints because consistency, talent, and I think that's most of the problem for Tampa Bay is consistency. Everything is a new moving part. Everybody showed up to get a different taste. If you had already been there, you got a new coach. If you came there, you're trying to get out your mind all the other coach. Now, of course, we know Brady and Gronk have played together, right? That sounds great. Mentally, we think about it all over again, but we also don't know what Bruce wants, and is that how he wants to run his offense? We know what that offense looked like in New England. But this is the dawn of a new day. This is a different division. I mean, so I'm just looking forward to it. But I think to know what we have in Tampa Bay, we have to give it a few weeks, because a lot of people, now we trust Brady to be Brady, the Brady we pretty much saw the last couple of years, because he's going to be that Brady. Maybe some plus or minus in, stability of some of those bad plays. His last play in New England didn't go over so well, interception. But my point is saying that is we need a few weeks to see, because this is the same thing everybody did with Cleveland. There's so much talent and they're just going to score. That doesn't always mean that. It doesn't translate the same, Yeah. So I want to see what's the dog fight in them and give it a couple of weeks for me. But right now I'm just going, unless it's just a team that I'm just unsure of, like Jacksonville or something, I'm not going to go with Tampa Bay right now. So Saints for me.
So I agree with you on a lot of things. Tom, me, I'm a Tom terrific fan. So I trust Tom 100%. And I trust Bruce. I think Bruce knows what we want to do, and he's a good offensive mind, maybe even great offensive mind, to be able to adjust his scheme to that team. I expect this to be a dogfight just because it's a division game. These teams they always play each other very, very, very well. So the defense in Tampa, not a lot of changes there. They're going to know what the Saints want to do. So you can expect that the Saints defense is just going to pressure Brady, and hope the back end holds up. But this is all about Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Kamara, and Mike Gardner. So I'm going with the home team, who's favored by 3.5. I'm going with the Saints.
I bet they are one team that really misses their fans this week.
Oh yeah, that's one you're gonna feel that if that. I don't know if they play in the empty stadium or 22%.
I think only 2 teams are doing it the first week so far, from my understanding. It's just Jacksonville and Kansas City.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they definitely going. That's gonna actually benefit Tampa Bay more than the Saints.
I agree.
Yeah.
So this next matchup kind of stings a little bit. Just a little bit. It's the Cardinals versus San Francisco. And obviously we say it stings a little bit due to our top receiver out of Houston is now the highest paid wide receiver for Arizona. But in being the highest paid wide receiver in Arizona, I do think a little time will be needed for some chemistry to figure out some things. And so for a week 1 matchup with a team coming fresh off the Super Bowl, looking to get their fans back into believing that they can, get back down that same road again, I'm going to go with the 49ers. San Francisco's my pick.
Yeah, this is easy for me. 49ers favored by 7. And there's a reason why. That defense is still crazy. And Arizona's offensive line is still horrible. So all you can is that, was upset with OB for trading Hop. There was no way we was going to pay Hop that kind of money, pay Deshaun money that he got, and pay the left tackle as well to protect Deshaun. So great for Hop. I'm a Hop fan. I wish Hop the best. He's going to be great. He hasn't really had a training camp. He's been out there, so he's not fine, but he really hasn't been practicing from the reports I've seen. And now he got his deal done. So I expect great things from him. I expect Hop to be Hop, but I'm going to go with San Fran on this.
Okay, so we got old D-Town versus LA Rams.
Yeah.
I don't have much thought on this other than I'm going to just go with Dallas.
Okay.
So, I mean, and I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry. I said I don't have much thought on it.
No, go ahead.
But just from an offensive side, they changed the pieces that are supposed to be the issue. So we'll see how that looks. They got a new head coach, one of your old coaches of teams you follow consistently. Okay. But I mean, we know there's a run game there. We don't have a doubt about that. And for consistency, we don't have a doubt about Dak. That's not the issue. So he now has 2 options. I don't know how much Lamb is going to play, but we definitely know they paid Cooper. So we know Cooper going to be out there. So other than that, I'm not really, Ramsey just got paid too for the Rams, but I don't think that that's going to be enough, to keep all of that in check if they're able to use their full offense.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. The Rams is a great team, good team. Dallas 3-point favorites here. I'm going with Dallas with it just because I think their offensive firepower is going to be more than what the Rams can keep up with. Nothing against Dak at all. Dak threw for 5,000 yards or something like that. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. Cooper was actually on the injury report today, but I think he was limited in practice or something like that. So I still expect him to be there Sunday night.
Right.
But they have weapons all the way around. The tight end that's replacing Jason Witten has been getting great reviews. So I think this is going to be another good game. I think the afternoon games and the Sunday night game is the best thing going on Sunday. So I go with Dallas with you on that.
Now, this next one, it's the return of Ben.
Yeah,
Big Ben is back.
Yeah.
Funny thing about me, I went to London last year. So Big Ben. Anyway, never mind. It doesn't matter. I digress. But I'm glad London happened last year and not this year. So in that sense, I'm happy. But anyway, so Big Ben is back. And even though they're on the road, I think he'll be just fine. And it's against the Giants. I'm still, I'm still trying to figure out that whole quarterback situation. It's still too new for me. I'm not ruling out the capability of being better. Not saying he at the bottom either. So I'm just saying, if you asking me to pick him over Ben, even with Saquon, even with Shepard, I'm going Ben. I don't care. Ben is one of those that I believe that can throw to whoever they put on his offense. Yeah. And so for that, I'm picking Ben.
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh on this one as well. I think the Giants can scare or sneak up on some people this year. I think Daniel Jones had a good rookie year, and I expect him to take a step forward in year 2, especially with Saquon and some of those weapons. Getting Sterling Shepard back. Golden Tate did pretty good. I think he did pretty good for him last year. But I think Pittsburgh is loaded on both sides of the ball. Their defense is going to be ridiculous again.
Yeah, again. They good for keeping a good defense. Only time their defense is like an issue is injury. I mean, they keep a pretty consistent defense. And the other thing is, when you think about downfield, we think Ben. So
I think
and he plays with such a smart.
And they missed the quarterback position last year a lot. So I think Having Ben back is going to definitely help Juju and those guys be more consistent. So yeah, with that coach too, Tomlin, come on, man, it's the coolest cat in the league. This is easy, Pittsburgh, and they favored by 6. So just throw that out.
Well, we're down to 2 games, and the one we're about to mention now is we're gonna move through quickly because we know the Titans were in the AFC Championship game last year, and we all know they didn't win, thank goodness. So we didn't have to hear about that. But I think they'll win, mainly because Von Miller's out now. That's a big loss on defense. I don't know yet what Chubbs is going to look like. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I know that Denver beat the Texans last year, and I understand all of that. But for consistency, I think, Babel knows what he has in Tannehill. He knows what he can do with Henry. I mean, he has enough core. He just added Clowney, which he already was with in Houston, so they don't have a long learning curve of each other. So I'm gonna give them the edge on that game. I would have kind of gave him more neck and neck if the Clowney trade didn't happen and Von Miller wasn't hurt. But that's football, right? Those things change. So my pick changed.
Gotcha. So Tennessee is 2.5-point favorite.
It's so close. That's what I said. It's like
it's still it's coin flip. So this is another game that I think not having fans is going to hurt Denver, and it's going to kind of equal out Tennessee. But the one thing that could be the equalizer is the weather. I know it was snowing in Colorado today, so early snow. So if they have to deal with that, I haven't seen the forecast for this weekend, but if they have to deal with that on Monday, then that could elevate Denver up that one spot. But that one notch.
Tennessee play cold outside too. Just maybe not as cold as Denver.
They do, but Denver is used to the cold and the altitude. So
true.
So I'll still lean towards Tennessee. We can get to the game. That's what really matters.
The game of the week. Now, before we get to the game of the week, I also want to remind you that Gransberry and Coffee at www.gransberry.com, where you can form your LLCs and corporations or look for your next registered agent in the state of Texas. We're there to offer services to complete your filings. Just hit us up when you get a chance. And of course, TheGransberry.com is where you can find things on food, fun, travel, and your sports dreams. I'm telling you, I try to keep them alive. If you can't be there, I will try to be. Right now, we're all at home, but best believe I'll give you my best effort on the road every time, beginning to end. You'll never miss a moment of a trip following me. So you want to follow me because I do my live updates from the stadium. I talk to fans. I go to all the hot places. I tell you how to travel. And then when we're back traveling, you definitely want to check me out at thegransberry.com because Grand Sports Travel is where you'll find me there. And I can help you take your next travel dream of sports on the road. So the game of the week, speaking of on the road, I was in that snow. I was in that cold. All the way in Kansas City when that loss from my team came in the playoffs. And you know who it is. That's right. It's Houston Texans at Kansas City. Now, we already know everybody is ready to pick the Super Bowl champs. But just like everybody is remembering January, we're still remembering October. And so it's what you think of it. I get it. It's Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP. I get it. But I believe in DW4 all day, any day, and especially on Thursday. Okay? This Thursday. So, I'm a homer. I'm a realist too. So I know Tyreek gonna be out there catching them bombs from Mahomes. But you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing all this speed on my side show up. So I'm ready to give it a full shot. So I'm ready to see my run game back out there, and I'm ready to see Deshaun say thank you for my ching change. So I'm gonna have to watch it at home, but I'm ready. Dude, I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Who you picking though?
Oh, well, I'm a homer. I'm gonna pick Houston.
You picking Houston?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
I get it. Like I said, I get it, but I'm not gonna pick against my team.
Yeah,
So
I'm H-Town through and through.
I know you gotta pick.
But although this is the game of the week, this is also the biggest spread of the week.
Yeah, and it should be. So let's be real. I'm a realist. I know it should be.
No, it shouldn't be.
No. It should be that people are picking Kansas City. Like it's not like it's like, oh, why are they picking it? The only reason that spread is biased. It's all they're making it all about Hop. And then to me, then how do you turn around and have this whole conversation about how great Deshaun is, and then act like this one receiver now makes him a bottom feeder in QBs? I mean, it just you can't try to argue me both at the same time. You could tell me some edge is gone, but they forgot that a healthy Fuller was almost a touchdown every pass with Deshaun. They have a great chemistry.
Yeah, I agree. And I expect this to be a really competitive game. It's going to be a great game. There will be fans in the stand, although it won't be capacity.
Shout out to my Texas fans that are making it out there. So I've had a few.
Oh, that's dope. So it'll be cool. I'll definitely be rooting for the Texans to pull through and upset and make me wrong on my pick, because I'm gonna go with Kansas City.
Yeah, that's fine.
This home opener, it's gonna be emotional.
On the road.
Well, it's emotional because you got the Super Bowl, win, you got the banner going up, or the flag, whatever they're gonna have going up. You have everything that's going on. They're going to be the only game on, the first game on, so everybody's going to be looking to see what they're doing social justice wise. So it's going to start off pretty emotional, and then it'll level off. Hopefully, the Texans can come out with the same fire they came out back in that playoff game, but then sustain it, right? So, and not let 24-0 go for nothing, and the other team scored 9 straight touchdowns.
I just felt that chill again in the end zone. Shout out to my t-shirt, End Zone Junkie. It's a Gransberry original, and I was in that end zone.
But yeah, we're gonna go. We picking Kansas City, but let's go Texans. Let's represent. Make me wrong, please. That's one I'll welcome.
I know, right? That's one thing. Would be great to be wrong.
Yeah.
So that's all of our pick'ems for the week in week 1. Next week in week 2, we'll have Brandon Patterson joining us. See if he can give us some tiebreakers on some of these picks of the week. Maybe he can help us out with some of my fandom on certain teams, but we'll see, because we know that, D.Jones got 2 teams, but we won't have that problem with Brandon.
I mean, one to lose, one to win.
Look, hey, I didn't say how you was going to pick. I just said you got 2 teams. Now, one thing I don't want you to forget about is you can always find me at TheGransberry. Ladies, if you're looking for a book on football, you need to learn first downs, confused about the flags, some tips on travel that you can use next season, how to get your guy a ticket, anything of that nature. I got you. TheGransberry.com, you can find my Gransberry Gridiron Guide, where I'm talking to you specifically. But if you're a novice of the game and you're looking for some energy to get you going, you're a first-time football mom, or maybe you're just somebody who's like, I want to support the Gransberry, then head on over to TheGransberry.com, get my book. It's only $15, including shipping. And then go subscribe to my YouTube page, because I want you to catch all these pick'ems, plus my other weekly shows on sports, business, fun, and everything in between. And thank you again for joining us. Catch you next time.